Munson here with the Expatsportugal.com Good Morning Portugal show. How are you today? And just as I was whistling along there, I was reminded of a lovely tag. I was tagged in a Facebook post recently. Beverly was saying that her house, I think it was either they sold their house or they were buying a house. Forgive me on that detail. But the important thing was she was singing her happy song and tagged me in it because she was whistling the song, the Good Morning Portugal theme tune, in anticipation of being here in Portugal. So well done, Beverly. Excellent stuff. Some of this for you. And yes, have some of that, everybody else too. Nuno's here already this morning. Nuno, good morning to you. Excellent to be speaking to you yesterday. I have dealt with all my paperwork, I'm pleased to say, Nuno, but famous last words, right? I think all the T's have been crossed and the I's have been dotted, but I'll let you be the judge of that. Our insurance man, of course, from Winsurance, Nuno there. And are you called a Scout Master, Nuno? Because when Nuno and I were talking about San Martino de Porto, where I now live, he was saying it's a destination for some Scout camps. So I expect to see Nuno here, and I'd even be happy to help out. And have a cold beer of an evening, not with the Scouts, of course, that would be wrong. They've got time ahead in their lives for that sort of behaviour, but presumably the Scouts staff are able to unwind occasionally. It'd be nice to have a cold beer with you in the bay one of these days, Nuno. And that applies to many people here. That sounds like I'm saying some, but not all, right? I don't mean it like that. But talking of the bay, we were in San Martino de Porto last night, because we live here basically, but we were on the beach last night with the kids yesterday evening, and I'm just concerned there might be a video about to start up that I was downloading. Let's hope not, and let's hope we don't get another outage. Just as I was cranking everything up this morning, there was a little flicker, and the PC got turned off with some sort of, I don't know what's going on here. Last night with the fuse box. The distribution board, I think is also known as, had a little bit of a turn, and everything was okay overnight. And then this morning, little flicker. So if I disappear, I will do my best to come back. But it's you'll know why, because of an outage, power cut, as we call them back in the UK. Anyway, where was it? Oh yes, San Martino de Porto Beach. Mrs. M did some legendary parenting. We changed the shower curtain here in the new house, like you do, and she said, "We'll keep the old shower curtain because that'll be useful on the beach." And lo and behold, yesterday, I just followed the instructions, and I folded up the shower curtain, and it was in a bag for life, which is what everybody seems to use, right? For not just for shopping, but for everything, like moving books from house to house, as I've done quite a lot in the last 4 years. Bags for life. We've got more bags for life than we've got lives, for sure, haven't we? I think I counted about 38 bags for life, because even though you're meant to carry that with you for life, you often find yourself without one, don't you? And you buy, I think it's only 50 cents. I'll go buy another one. And then the next thing you know, you've got, 50 odd under the sink, and they're bulging out from underneath the sink. However, in the beach bag for life, with all the buckets and spades and sports kit and kites and whatever in there, we also had this folded up shower curtain, which we dig a hole in the beach, and then you put the shower curtain in, and then you fill it with seawater, and the kids have got their own little paddling pool. Top marks, Mrs. M, top parenting there. So we were playing on the beach and just chilling out, just having a moment as the sun was coming close to the sunset, and a gentleman walked up to me and said, "Are you the Good Morning Portugal guy?" And they had the most amazing conversation. Godwin, so good to meet you yesterday, and your lovely wife, who people will know here. Iris Otoba, maybe tuned in this morning. after our lovely encounter and chat yesterday evening at San Martino de Porto. So it's Iris, but Iris, I've been calling her Iris Otoba because I thought she might prefer that or had a Portuguese ancestry. So we're going for the Iris. It's Iris and Godwin. So good to meet you both. I'm so delightful to meet people when I'm out and about. I'm so flattered and delighted when people say hello, and that was a wonderful event, a wonderful happening yesterday. So great to meet you both. Who's in this morning? Before I say hello to everybody, and before you're saying hello to me, look on the above me. See that there are. Well, this could be a spot the difference, couldn't it? Because there is another, and there's another thing on this screen that I'm not entirely happy about. It's the wrong shade of the additional color that's been put on the screen. So I think I'm gonna have to do something about that. It could be a little bit distracting and a little bit disturbing on the eye. Where are my excuse me? Where are my Dr. Bayards this morning? The old Silver Coast sea mist is. I'm continuing my acclimatization to this. Climate and atmosphere, humidity by the sea here. Dr. Bayards are helping me. And what a fantastic old brand. Of course, we had the banana slug. We had the woman wrestling the banana slug picture, which caused a lot of mirth and merriment. Let's show you that one more time. So this is the Dr. Bayard factory and the lozenges being made. And the lovely picture of the Dr. Bayard pack shot there, which so you know what I'm talking about. If you don't know what I'm going on about, if you weren't here for the last few days, this is one of Portugal's great brands. Just suck a lozenge and your cough disappears. And there are all those people suffering on the on the front of the cover there. They're all presumably much better off now, having worked their way through a packet of boiled sweets. And yeah, one of the side effects of boiled sweets is it does make the roof of your mouth a little bit sore. So maybe Dr. Bayard's, if they're looking to extend their offer into the market, could come up with the next lozenge with aloe vera in to calm the lacerated roof of your mouth that you've got from sucking a whole packet of boiled sweets. But anyway, I digress because I want to talk more about another old brand. I love the Portuguese traditional brands. Here's another one of many decades, over 100 years old. I'm going to tell you more about it today. Luckily, the pack shot is not in green, otherwise that would disappear. Does anybody else here love Confiança soaps? This is their Alcatraz, which you could be forgiven for thinking was the official soap of the Alcatraz prison over there in San Francisco. It's not. It's just one of their many soaps. And if I just give this a sniff live on air, Joe Biden style. No, sorry. I shouldn't have said that. I do beg your pardon. Yes. It smells like a relative's house, like an elderly relative's house. And I'm beginning to really like that kind of aroma. And I bought 3 of them. And in the past, I bought the whole range because I think they're beautiful. And they're the sort of soaps that you can put in your undies drawer. You know, put it with your smalls. It makes a nice fragrance in the drawer, doesn't it? And I'm going to be talking more about this soap with this company, Confiança, later on. But I also, because I discovered last night, moving to Portugal. And this is the government's own website. It's Thursday. It's moving to Portugal Thursday. Okay, so we normally talk to somebody about their adventure moving to Portugal. And we talked to Claire, didn't we, about how she came to Portugal, where she lives, and how she makes wine now. And I thought, okay, well, I'll look for the official line on this. You know, why not go back to the basics? And I did. And I'm looking. You can't see it yet, but I'm looking at the eportal.gov.pt, where there are some interesting things. Even you old timers who've been here for ages might be surprised to know and learn about. Okay, so that's our gesture towards moving to Portugal, and of course the bonus bit of soap info. Okay, carrying on from the great Portuguese brands like Dr. Bayard, we're moving into the soap area in just a moment, but not until hold on a minute. Tar soap. That is Alcatraz, which is, I mean, it's a good job it's called Alcatraz, isn't it? Because, you know, tar is not the best branding. It might have been 50 years ago or 100 years ago, and it like tar soap. The best a man and woman can get. Rub it all over. But not so much today. And when we look at their website, you'll see how they're trying to change with the times. And I think this is always quite a dangerous thing. If an old brand of 100 years old is trying to flex with the contemporary scene and trying to get on Instagram and all that sort of thing, it can be a little bit awkward, can't it? Should they just hold on to their traditional values and look and graphics, or should they try and get with the modern program? Let's find out more about that, okay, in a little while. Thanks, Ray Thompson, for that, by the way. So let's scroll back before we lose those comments, because that's what happens now. I rabbit on so much, or I'm chatting with, like I was yesterday, with Dr. Thompson, the doc. Wasn't he great yesterday? And then we lose track of the comments. So let's make sure we focus on those right now. James, a new friend, relatively new in this last week, and YouTube member, James Holly. Good morning to you. Bon dia a todos. He's lost his S there, but in his haste, presumably, there's a missing S floating around on the internet somewhere. Hopefully reunited with that sentence at some point, James. But good morning to you as well. Oh, with Thunderduck, who said he might not be here this morning, but good to see you. Bon dia alegria. And to you, Andrea, bon dia, good morning. To James, everyone saying hello to each other. Very polite, very good, very right. That's how we roll here. Bon dia a todos from Joao F.A. Joao, thank you for your correspondence. Appreciate it. And James is adding here, another beautiful day in Ericeira. Now, forgive me if I showed this before, but I'm not that apologetic because it's beautiful. There is the Ericeira sunset. We have seen these before from Colin, but that's a recent one from a couple of days ago. And if I move James's comment, you'll see the pool. Wouldn't that be a lovely place to have a dip? That's just at the bottom of Colin's garden there. Absolutely beautiful. So good morning to you, Colin, and thank you for that good evening shot there of the sun going down at Ericeira, where, of course, yes, it is a beautiful place to be, as James is pointing out to us there. Fantastic. Okay, onward then with the comments. Jim White. Jim White will be our guest, everybody, on Saturday evening. We do the... me and Mrs. M have been playing around with a spiritual Portugal, a feel-good show where we talk to people who are doing great work in the world and to do with health, to do with well-being, and taking a holistic view of life, really. And we've tried various formats with that, and we've just thought, I'll tell you what, we don't go out on Saturday nights anymore, and we will do a show so that more American people can tune in as well, for one thing, because 10 o'clock on a Saturday night, where we would, in our youth, we might have been out and about, but now we're firmly at home, home birds, and loving our new home. And at 10 o'clock on a Saturday night, we thought, okay, we'll do the Feel Good Portugal show. Come together, and we will tag team that if any of the kids need attention. But generally speaking, we can both spend a little bit of time together. It's almost like our date night together. And we share it with you. And we're sharing Jim White with you this coming Saturday as well. You can see Jim in action there in his facilitator role, I think. And Jim is going to be our guest. It's going to be so good to catch up with you, Jim, and find out about what you do in some depth. And you've got a great idea to share with us as well. So we'll talk more about that on Saturday night. But from 10 o'clock, it's the Feel Good Portugal show. And that's a fixture now in the diary from 10 on Saturday evenings till about midnight. But it can roll on because we get into nice conversations. James having another go here. Bon dia a todos. She's got the S there this time. Jackie Polly. Good morning to you, Jackie. Of course, Jackie spoke to us a little while ago, came on the show with Andy via Austin. Bon dia, weather in the Alentejo is amazing again. Tell us more, Jackie, and can we have a photograph of the often overlooked Alentejo? And you're very lucky, I think, to have found the Alentejo region so early on in your in your adventure here in Portugal. How's it going? Do tell us more. James, Joao wants to know, you're still in Ericeira, right? I'm just 23 kilometers away from you. Good to know. I think seeing you. So James chucking a bit of Portuguese around, still getting settled in, but let's meet up soon. Fantastic. Great to see that among the community there. People meeting up offline as well. Bom dia, alegria, hello, Mate. A todos de Amsterdam, chuvoso. Rainy Amsterdam this morning. Mais dia de menos até a minha mudança para Pombal. Okay, so one more day and a month. Is that right? Menos. No, what minute? A day or more until my change to Pombal. No, so I don't understand that. And that's probably my fault, not yours there. And I've got into the flap you get into when you're trying to understand another language, and it becomes a kind of panic, doesn't it? Where you go, I can't do it. But so I'm not gonna drill down into that any further. I'm gonna wait for the translation to come. But I just had that moment of I can't do it. But we know that Matty is moving towards Pombal, and a big change is heading this way. But I know it's more than a day away. So let's see how that develops, that particular comment, and how we can track Matty's progress. And from the McKillen house, I think I understand this more now. Okay, so the Minister of Home Affairs is, I think, Mrs. McKillen, the other half there of Deagle. Is that right? And I was thinking we actually are in touch with the Irish Minister of Home Affairs. Maybe we are. Maybe they're one and the same person. But the Minister of Home Affairs just said we should be going to Portugal tomorrow, put off as both positive. So although you should be coming tomorrow, you have put off that journey by the sound of it because you're still COVID positive. I'm sorry to hear that. Improving, but has knocked 2 healthy double jab people for 6. So it'll be February in the Algarve. I'm really sorry to hear that you're not feeling well, you're not feeling the May West, and that your journey has been delayed like that. And am I right? So the Minister of Home Affairs is your Mrs. M by the sound of it. Okay. Please. I'm sorry if I was a bit slow on the uptake with that. Thunder Duck, good morning from Venda do Pinheiro, Mafra. What about the rest of us, Joao? Come on. No favoritism here. Bom dia, alegria a todos. Hope all are well. Not doing pretty well, not doing so badly here this morning, Francis, notwithstanding the flutter of the electricity, making me wonder if the show might be plunged into darkness at some point, but we'll see. We'll carry on regardless. Okay, incoming, the Jazz Funk track of the day from Capricorn 12, who I would love it, Capricorn 12, if you know those lovely jingles that you write on the screen. How about voicing them into WhatsApp? You know the number, everybody? Well, maybe you don't. So put it on the screen again. Pics and voice messages. We get a lot of lovely pictures, and we've got a great video from Hank to share with you, which I think is okay to share because he does talk about you guys. So I think it was made for our screens and for our audience here, which was sent to me overnight. So it's great to receive videos. It's great to receive pictures. And it's also nice to receive voice messages, okay? I'm talking to you, Capricorn 12, if you want to. That would sound so great. You know, Capricorn 12 here with a Jazz Funk track of the day. We're going back into the record stack with a good one called Jump to the Beat by Stacey Lattershaw. So you're very welcome to just drop me one of those little WhatsApp voice notes with this information on it. That'd be great. Here comes a song then, straight out of the stable, comes a song called Jump to the Beat. Amazingly, this track, as it was performed by 15-year-old. I didn't know if Stacey Lattershaw was 15 years of age, 15 years of old. Jazz Funk Thursday, Hank. So sneaking in a hello to Hank at the same time there. Maria João Ramos, morning, or Elra here. Oh, with your other identity. Finding out more about you, Elra. Elra, good to have you here this morning, and albeit under an alias or somebody else's Facebook account. Jean is also here. Bom dia from Westwood, New Jersey. Excellent to hear from you, Jean. We've said hello to you, Nuna, but why not say hello again, everybody, to Nuna Mendes of Windsurance there, as Capricorn 12 is. And Maria Costa is here. Good morning from Tamar. Beautiful day is expected in Tamar. So in the autumn, Maria, what temperatures is Tamar experiencing? It's beautiful here. It's been a slightly chilly morning. I mean, that's what's happening now, right? Here in Portugal. The day on the late afternoon, evening on the beach yesterday at San Martino was excellent yesterday. It was a very hot day during the day, but we are feeling it now in the evening, autumn time, of course, and heading into winter. Gets a little bit chilly in the mornings, chilly in the evening. But what's the expected high today in both centigrade and Fahrenheit, if you don't mind? We know Tamar can get into the 40s, don't we? So what are you expecting today then, Maria? Great to have you along. And Jim White, shout out to Nuno. And Midlife Crisis. Bom dia, lindos portugueses e aquelas que aspiram a ser tão bons. Beautiful Portuguese, and I hope you have a good one. I'm guessing I'm going to move on quick. Good morning. Have a good day from Jacqueline Branco and from Garvo as well. Bom dia a todos, as from Mark too. Bom dia, alegria. Garvo from Matty there. We call it load shedding, and it's not a flicker. Oh, I see. It's scheduled outages, 2.5 hours at a time, and sometimes twice a day. So what happens is that letting off excess electricity? From what you say there, I mean that could be a vaccine comment, couldn't it? We call it load shedding and not a flicker. It's a scheduled outages, 2.5 hours at a time, and sometimes twice a day. Oh, I see. Okay, so you actually lose your power. That's why it was always good when I used to do this on a laptop, because even if the lights went out, the laptop would continue. But then again, the Wi-Fi wouldn't, would it? Unless I was running it on my hotspot. I'm going to go with what I've got. We've got a desktop. If it goes, it goes, and you'll know why. But that sounds very inconvenient, Francis. Maybe one of the many reasons you want to move to Portugal. I don't know. The more reason to be self-sufficient and have solar and a trusty diesel generator. Yeah, I can't wait to have myself set up like that, Matty, so that in the morning I can open a window and smell the diesel fumes coming in from the diesel generator. Solar might be a little bit easier on the hooter, mightn't it? Of the nose, I should say, so I don't cause any confusion with our American audience talking about things being easy on the hooter. I could get myself into all sorts of trouble and a brand new audience, couldn't I? Maybe I should. Joao F, do join the forum. That will allow us to change messages. How can I contact you? So keep that going, folks. Please put in your forum handles into here, whatever you're known as on the forum, because as we know, people are working under all sorts of aliases depending on the environment that they're in. Okay, I have got a little. So instead of making you wait now and going silent while I have a little sip of my tea, or indeed a cough, because I don't really like sharing that with you, although I did it inadvertently yesterday. I have got myself, I'll call it the cough video, okay? So you and I know what I'm talking about here. But that's what it's unofficially called. Officially, it's called, here's the new schedule, folks. I'll be right back after this. And that was meant to have some jaunty music on it. Did it mute, or did you hear me slurping? Oh, I didn't mute. That's not right. That didn't go according to plan. So I've got the graphics right. It's 8:30 Lisbon time, but you could still hear me slurping whilst I was playing that video, which is meant to have music on it. What happened there? Production team, you're all fired. Oh, I was talking to myself there, really, aren't I? So, Joao, FB Messenger for now. I'll find the forum too. Okay, yeah. So get yourselves on the forum, folks. That's very important. We love to see you on there. And let me just put in the link for doing such into the comments now. Are you a member of Expats Portugal's forum? There we go. Ticker tape at the bottom there. If you need to do that, which we urge you to do, expatsportugal.com/community, and then you'll be able to commune and communicate via the forum, as James is alluding to there. And Antonio F is here. Please tell us a story behind your excellent YouTube ID picture there, Antonio F. It does look very Spartan, but it might not be. That soap packaging is good, isn't it? Just now, far be it from me to tell you how to run an Airbnb, because you know, and hopefully we'll talk about that in depth at some time, Maria. Maybe you could come on the Thursday show, and we'll talk about your journey here to Portugal, and of course, how easy or difficult and pleasurable or otherwise it is to run an Airbnb and set one up. But wouldn't that be lovely on arrival? That's a real Portuguese memory, isn't it? So I would be delighted if I arrived at my Airbnb and had one of those to open up and use. Although the problem, I suppose, with soap in hotels is it's quite wasteful, isn't it? Nobody it's like wearing someone else's shoes, isn't it? You know, when you inadvertently or purposefully put on someone else's shoes, you kind of know it. You kind of know that they're not yours, and the shapes are slightly different inside, especially if they're warm. Oh no, let's not go there. And so I'm thinking, how do we do that? Maybe you urge them to take the soap with them when they finished, if they can be bothered. But then again, we've all done that, haven't we? We've all got home from a trip where we've thought, okay, we won't leave the soap because it'll only be thrown away, only to find a soapy mess inside the wash bag or another part of the luggage. What to do about that? Maybe there's the product extension. Maybe that's where this company could go. Smaller tablets of soap. That said, I wonder how environmentally disastrous soap is, and what they're doing about that. Because I'm sure that their whole understanding of their impact on the environment has changed a lot in the 100 years that they've been trading. Anyway, again, digressing, Elra, or should we say Maria, Alcatraz means tar. Tar soap, like coal tar soap, right? Okay, I known the world over. It's definitely a soap you should not drop in the prison showers. Okay, Matty, I knew as soon as I said Alcatraz, I knew somebody might mention that. Fragrance in your drawers, isn't that the best thing? There's another suggestion we could send to them, eh, Jackie? Fragrance in your drawers with confianza. Or fragrance your drawers with confidence, with confianza. They should hire us all. I tell you what, Confianza, if you're watching, and I should send them this video, Let's have a Good Morning Portugal, Expats Portugal, Charabang trip. And by that, again, and probably another culturally not inappropriate, but not understandable word, Charabang trip. It's when everyone gets on the coach, a coach trip, right? And maybe that's a bus trip in America. You get what I mean? A guided tour. So we all get on a bus. Gary's driving, and we drive and we'll find out where it is in a moment. We'll find out where the Confianza factory is. And we'll go there. They'll give us a tour around, give us a goodie bag with a few soaps in, and we'll sit with them in their boardroom and come up with all these ideas like fragrance in your drawers. That's a winner, Jackie. I mean, because we all want that, don't we? In some part of our life and some time in our life, we all long for a decent fragrance in our drawers, which incidentally, Finland makes wonderful ice cream and sauces of tar. What? It's one thing to wash yourself with it, but hold on a minute. The Finns are putting tar in ice cream and sauces. What's up with that? As our American friends might say here. Tell us more, please. If it starts with al, it stems. You can call me Al. If it starts with al, it stems from Arabic. This is always a good thing to remember, isn't it? Like al jabrota, algarve. Where else can we think of? Please, more examples, please. But there you go. Put a word of Moorish origin there. Perhaps let's bring it on the screen. Alcatral. Carl, you can make this recipe. Put onions in layers with honey. Let it soak for 2 hours. Then sip this during the day. Excellent for chesty coughs, and it is pleasant to take. It doesn't sound like it, does it? So hold on, let me just read that again. You make this recipe. Put onions in layers. So slice the onions into what would be onion rings, I guess, and then put honey on there. Let it soak for 2 hours, and then. So what happens? Does the honey draw the liquid out of the onions? And so no cooking involved. It's just a natural process. So excellent for chesty coughs. And it is pleasant to take. Well, I must try that. Fragrance in your drawers again. So good. She's saying it twice, and I'm going to definitely commend that to Confianza. Jeff Jackson's here, everybody. Bon dia, alegria. And al means the. Now I knew it was a reference to Arabic Moorish origin, but I didn't know it meant the. Every day's a school day here on the Good Morning Portugal show. Isn't that fantastic? Alentejo, of course. And I wonder what that means. Can we go into, just for Jackie's benefit, can we find out what entejo means? Well, it must mean the bit on the Tejo, right? Fantastic. I figured it out for myself. Well done, Carl. Failed to greet you minutes ago. Yes, just averting a diplomatic outrage there between the Netherlands or America, possibly, depending on how far back you go with Andrea's extraction and Portugal in the form of João F there. So well done. Well saved on that, João F. That was weird. You were talking about power cuts, and then about 5 seconds later, my power went out. Spooky. That's very powerful stuff, isn't it, Gary? My law of attraction vibes here. And we haven't done this for a while, have we? Let's see how this goes down at your house right now. Alexa, put on the Good Morning Portugal show. Let's see if that's worked for you. Or should we try something different? What track could we play? Alexa, play It's Not Unusual by Tom Jones. See what happens there. Matty, no, Carl. One less day. Okay, there we go. One less day. Another day closer to Pombal. And every time I say the word Pombal, I think of the Pombal Wok, Chinese or sort of Pan-Asian all-you-can-eat restaurant there that we went there the night before our youngest was born, actually. So the food there did the trick, I think. More or less, mais ou menos. Okay, of course, mais ou menos. I know that phrase. I just couldn't see it in that sentence. I'm so sorry. But P. Ann Jackson there to help me out. Good morning to you. I'm going to call you Anne. I think. Translation, good morning, Joy, from rainish and rainy Amsterdam. Yet another day less till my move to Pombal. Okay, one day closer to Portugal would be another way of putting it. And Paul Williams is here as well. Bon dia from a sunny Hampshire this morning. Hello. You know what Hank said? The whole show is about reading comments now. It's half an hour in, and that's still the case, okay? I don't think anyone's complaining about that. Just saying. A contagem regressiva começou a falta dia. Oh, why'd you have to go and do that? Capricorn 12. Bon dia. And I've been doing my 15 minutes religiously. My daily routine is to include, for sure, I might do it if I feel like it, but 15 minutes listening to Portuguese, learning Portuguese. And still, I'm being caught short and caught out. Bon dia, alegria, todos from Ron and Jane on a beautiful Cascais morning. Superb. Great to hear from you. How about a photo from you, the Shays, who recently celebrated your fantastic 40th wedding anniversary? Ray Thompson, I can feel a CP train journey coming on from Porto to Regua along the gorgeous Douro River. Won't that be beautiful at this time of year? Will it be all autumnal over that way? I think beautiful at any time of year, but that sounds fantastic. Tell us more, Ray, if you will. That sounds like another one we should do together, right, as a trip out. Today, Lisbon expected to reach 25. That's very tidy. That's all right, isn't it? And in Tamar, normally 15 to 20. This year is very weird. We have blossoms on our cherry tree. Ooh, and again, spooky. Bon dia from a beautiful sunny Cascais, Anna. I got someone who wants to speak to you, Anna. Let me connect you with them after the show. It's a nice reminder. Thank you very much. Can you ask Gary Austin for his Instagram? I tried to follow him, and there are loads of Gary Austins. Can the real Gary Austin step forward on Instagram, please? No, Carl, diesel generator is just for the emergency backup if the solar batteries would be depleted. Okay, we're not cranking up the solar. We're not cranking up the diesel every morning. I understand now. Francis, we also have load shedding. This is an African thing, perhaps. I don't know of this. In fact, this morning we're running on our generator. Generally happens. Why is it load shedding? That suggests that there is output, but you're not getting it by the sound of it. Generally happens more now in our summer as people are running. I see. So the load that's being pulled by air conditioning and fridges causes the outage there in Botswana as well as South Africa. You know what? I mentioned Hank just now. Let's play his video, shall we, that he sent. And you're going to like this, folks. Here's another cough video. I mean, let me just get that comment off the screen. Otherwise, that's going to be in the way. Here you go. Here is Hank doing one of his favorite activities here for you on the screen. I bet you want to see that now. Here he goes.
Hi guys, good morning from sunny and chilling California. Just thought I would share what I found today at my local Trader Joe's. This is one of only 2 labels that they had. Porta 6. You know, I've been homesick for Portugal, and I saw this and I was like, I'm buying it and I'm gonna drink it. I don't care. It's a red wine, hint of cherries and almonds, I guess is what they're saying on there. So just want to say cheers, and I'll miss you guys, and we'll see you again in January. Tastes like home.
There you go. How about that? That's fantastic. Thank you very much, Hank, for that. Any other wine reviews gratefully received on short videos like that? That's really brilliant. Thank you. And Tastes Like Home, says Hank there in front of his Porto green screen. Looks like he's already home. His beloved Porto there. I don't know. Is that where Connie? Have we talked about this recently? Is that where Connie wants to end up? I know that Hank is a big Porto fan. I don't know if that's Connie's final choice yet, but they'll find out, I'm sure, in January when they return. And there's the Porto 6, the Lisbon wine that he found in his Trader Joe's. Excellent. Thank you very much for that. Antonio F. Can't wait. We're plugging into the beach to recharge our batteries. Not long now then. Capricorn 12. Going to be lovely there in the Algarve. Hooter equals no. Just so that everyone knows. Thank you very much, Jeff Jackson, for this. Yes, because this could have caused all sorts of trouble if it wasn't sorted out. Hooter equals nose. Learning the Queen's slang, another benefit of watching GMP. And thank you for that, Jeff. And look, Thunder, no, I didn't play the cemetery video yesterday. And that's going to be an excellent thing to do today, is it not, Thunder? And this is, again, a casualty of the overwhelming amount of incoming that we have. And again, I think what I need to do, Thunder, is probably hold that until tomorrow. Yeah, let's hold that for tomorrow. And on Feel Good Friday, we'll play the cemetery video. Well, it's a fact of life, but it is very beautiful, isn't it? So I'll make sure I pull that from YouTube so that it will run smoothly, and I'll do that tomorrow. So maybe you and your friends, fresh in, I think, from the States, might like to sit around and watch your beautiful work being debuted, being what's the word premiered on the Good Morning Portugal show tomorrow. And I do appreciate that, but you distracted me with your big pumpkin. Oh, how often do people say that to you, Thunder? You distracted me with your big pumpkin, but you did yesterday. You had sent a video, and but then you sent a picture of a big pumpkin, which distracted me. It's not a blame game. I'm just explaining what happened to me yesterday. Oh my goodness! See, we've had the comment thing, guys. Look. We're trying to talk about what to do and not do when you move to Portugal from the official government website, and we want to look at the soap factory. So come on, let's get through these. So we've covered Hooters, which is good, and it really wouldn't be the same, would it? Where you went to a bar to look at noses. You know, can you imagine British people? It might be. I say, should we go to Hooters tonight? That excellent establishment where one can quaff some ale and nosh on some fine fare whilst looking at ladies' noses. Amazing. Yes, let's do it. Let's do it, Tarquin. Bring me the head of light entertainment. What I like that, but I don't know what it was in relation to. Is it my Portuguese? It could be, can it? Morning, Carl. Can we have someone to talk about olive picking, processing, and ideas for preserving, please? Yes, if that's you, and you can respond to Nigel there, covered in dogs as he is on his YouTube profile. How many dogs are on you there in that picture, Nigel? Kaza Henry, and how are you both? If that's you, and you can come and talk about olives, you know where I am. Hit me up. I bet that Antonio Spartan is Viriato. Okay, tell us more. That sounds interesting as well. So we'll have a Portuguese take on this is Sparta. Ho! Or in Portuguese, is it this? What is it? This is Porto. Ipa. Yes, take it home. What's that about? Too many threads on the go here. Take it home. A fantastic idea about the olives. Yes, okay. So if that is you, if you're the olive person, if you're the oliveira, please come on, get in touch. Olives, loving olives there. Joseph Light. Olives, is it you, Joseph, who's going to come and talk to us? Joseph Light, I wonder. So it's a Lusitano. Okay. So this is Lusitano. Ipa. We should all practice that, gents. And when we get together, obviously doing the Growing Old Disgracefully program, I'll be able to wear a red cape and very little else, maybe some of those leather pants that were immortalized in one of my favorite movies, I have to say. Gory as whatever, but the lines from that film are fantastic, aren't they? And the voiceover and everything. I just love that movie. But there we could have a remake, couldn't we? In the car park of the hotel, possibly, of 300 in Portuguese, made of Lusitano warriors, all shouting out, Ipa! Tom's here. Good morning, dear, from a chilly Lardoza. First time we have the heat on ever since we're in Portugal. Oh, let's hope for a speedy and brief autumn and winter. And may we bless you all with low EDP bills. A Ziploc bag for the journey home. Okay, so there we go. I know what that's about. That's to take your Ziploc, so that when you've opened your soap in the hotel, but only used a little bit of it, you can take the rest. There you go, sorted. Join our Instagram for other consumer tips of this kind. Yeah, power off to stabilize the grid. One of the many reasons. Okay, that's over there. And yes, the Ziploc bag. Let's go. Yes, for the soap, of course, not for the not for the humans. Thank you for pointing that out. Alcohol, that famous Moorish-inspired word, alcohol. Very good. Good morning to you, Mark Rigby. How are you, my friend? Good to see you here. I don't know much about the tar food. I just eat the leaves. What? I just eat it. Oh, because it leaves your brain completely confused. It smells of smoke, but tastes good. Is Elra okay over there? Yeah, she's just been eating tar again. Just had a second go at the forum. Never been a forum guy. Maybe because I don't understand it got lost in it all. But Francis gets back on it. That's very straightforward. You know who you're dealing with. Thank you for not choosing an enigmatic or anagrammatical name or some weird name that no one will know it's you, and then go, oh, it's you. I've been talking to you for 6 months, and now I finally realize it's Francis I'm talking to. So well done. It is a bit old school, the forum. There's no question about that. That forums are one of the earliest communication devices on the internet, and we are upholding the tradition there. And we prefer it to Facebook, we have to say. Seriously, says Jeff Jackson, I really enjoy learning British slang and idioms. Always appreciate your translation for those of us across the pod. Well, I felt like I was duty bound to explain that one this morning, Jeff. And thank you for thanking me. Albufera, there we go, another one. Very good. Carl, Andrea is Floridian before living in Netherlands, now moving to. I thought so. I did mention it, didn't I? I did say American as well. Beyond Alain, the Tagus River, the Tasia. There you go. Alan Tasia. Thank you, Jackie, for that. Forget Alexa. Just start whistling, Carl. 3 for the road. It says 3 for the road. How are you this morning? Thank you for that. Andy says, we'll get you speaking the Queen's like a native, mate. That's one of my favorite things is when Americans do the Cockney accent, like, what's it called? Is it Don Cheadle in Oceans? It's just so brilliant. Or Dick Van Dyke, famously, as well. Perfect. Carl, no, Alan Tejio is Alain de Tejio, beyond the river. So, yes, we've cleared that up now, and that was my guess. And I thought no one would notice, but I've been busted. Confianza, set up by 2 Germans in 1887. Eusebio, he loves this history stuff, and you are my great pal with this. Have we got any pictures yet, Eusebio, of the 2 Germans setting up a soap factory? Sounds like the beginning of a joke, doesn't it? 2 Germans walk into a soap factory. What's the next line? The quintessential expat integration. Well, who knew? Who knew? Behind Confianza, with 2 German fellas. No complaints here, says Jim White. Thank you for that. There are some complaints. I'm a bit sore, I have to say. There are a few complaints about how commercial Expats Portugal is becoming, and it's caused some disgruntlement. And I do want to deal with it. I take. I'm a light-hearted fella, as you know, if you watch this show, but I do take things seriously as well, especially criticism. And I do look into it, and I am thinking about what people are saying about that. And because, Expats Portugal is changing. It's changed a lot since its inception, since 2005. And the world has changed. The amount of people wanting to come to Portugal has changed. Lots of things are changing, and we feel like we're moving with those changes. And I think, we're doing a pretty, even if I say so myself, because it's not just me, obviously, Jerry, Astrid, Sally, and there's a kind of blurred line, because this Expats Portugal endeavor is all of us in this community, all helping each other. And I know some people, I don't know how many it is. I think it's quite a small minority of people are expressing their concerns about the direction we're going in. And I think it's very important to have open conversations about this. But the thing that has sort of initially concerned me, borderline upset me, is this wonderful distinction. A wise man once said to me, I can cope with criticism, but I can't bear negativity. And so I'm open to the criticism. But when I think people are just being negative, is when I switch off, because I don't think there's anything you can do for that. So by criticism, I mean, okay, so I hear what you're saying. What's the alternative? What are you suggesting? Or is it just a moan and a whinge? And do you just not like it? And that's fine. We live in a world, don't we, where it's fine not to like things and not to be involved in them or choose to not be a part of things. That's fine. But I'm working on that nuance between criticism and negativity. And, to me, it should be talked about in the open, which I intend to do. The onion cough syrup, or the same thing, made with lots of grated carrots sprinkled with brown sugar. What? This is coming from this is a fundraiser for you, Jacqueline. The folk recipes for ailments. So here's number 2 today: a grated carrot sprinkled with brown sugar. Leave to soak. Sip. Maybe add some tar if you're Elra. Sip during the day. Excellent for those coughs. Was taught about this 35 years ago in Alentejo. Excuse me. And have you got anything for wind? Yeah, here's a kite. No, something's repeating on me this morning. It might be me at Halls, because I defected to Halls away from, because I'd run out of Dr. Bayard's. Maybe that'll serve me right. More repeats this morning. The BBC. This 35 years ago in the Alan Sage and still used by Jacqueline there. Incredible. Antonio F, the font of knowledge. Yes, indeed. F stands for font of knowledge. We now know. Gary Orgles, thanks again, Gary, for your wonderful offer. We will get back to you on that. Bon dia, everyone from Gary. Can I do a bit of a brag? Of course you can, Maria. So I don't know what she's bragging about there. Okay, it's the new AL. It's the new link to Maria's fine establishment there, where we might see this soap. I don't know, or we might see some artwork inspired by those fantastic graphics. Confianza. Yeah, of course you can, Maria. Go ahead. You already did. Bon dia Alegria. Oh, 25 degrees. Wow, lucky to get 12 here today, says Mike in Maastricht. How are you today? The load on the power grid. Okay, load shedding. Yes, I'm sorry, Maria. I don't have Instagram, so that's why you can't find him. He's not on there. He's not hip and with it and with the times, man. On Insta babes, he's not over there on the IG, on the QT. Gary, why? Why, Gary? Saud, Hank, the word you're looking for is not Saud, but soldad. So a bit of Saud when he's sharing his red wine with us, but soldad is what Elra is telling Hank he's suffering from. And we all can relate to that at times, can't we? Cheers, Hank. We will have some we'll have some on my back porch in January. Okay, and I will not make the obvious euphemism joke there. I missed the wine. Oh, more saudade coming in. I missed the wine club. Well, what should we do about that, Gary? I'm not drinking alcohol until July of next year, but maybe that's when, I'd be happy to get back in business. Bom dia alegria from South Africa, counting down. Good morning to you, Kelele. Hope you're well. I'm glad to see you, Hank. Yes, on the screen, talking to his video avatar there. Joseph Marsh is here. My goodness. Hello, mate. How are you? How's it going there? Busy man, as you can see from his profile pic on Facebook there, on the range, home on the range there. How are you? Boot, bonnet, chips and crisps. Oh, okay, the differences between the queens. Cemetery video sounds dead interesting. Oh, he does love a dad joke, does Mark. Glad to see you here this morning. Cracking those. Fantastic. Yes, wanted to say some wine on my back porch. Still sounds a bit dodgy. I missed the wine club too. Shame that we can't hear Linda telling us how well it would go with salt and chips. Well, we can do that again come next summer. We should do that, right? Let's make plans. Let's make plans with a big sponsor. Actually, Brito was a German company set up in Portugal who later bought Confianza, their rivals. Okay, so he's finding out about that behind the scenes. We still haven't looked at the Moving to Portugal website. You're keeping me nice and busy with the comments this morning. Me too, says Pete. So, Dad, for the wine club. I missed the wine club too. Come on, you guys. You don't have to miss it. Somebody start the wine club up again. Fiber now installed, working on some tech issues to see if it's possible to do some live cooking with Owen. Musho headaches. If you still want me to pop in tomorrow in for some form or other, I will. Yes, everybody! There you see it on your screen. It's official. Garvo will be with us tomorrow. So looking forward to a little bit of a snigger with him about something. See if you want to, if you can cause us, like grown-up men, allegedly. See if you can reduce us to fits of schoolboy giggling with your comments tomorrow. Okay, so the challenge is there. But no, I think Gary and I are above that sort of puerile behavior. And so we'll be able to keep it together in a very professional way, obviously, tomorrow. Ian, bon dia, Carly Toros. Offer a walk to offset the wine taken last night. Have a great day. Or Ian and I working on the Growing Old Disgracefully program and loving it. Yes, watch even though you can only see me from pretty much the nipples up here, and a bit higher, you will get a sense of my rippling bod, my buff bod, in the coming weeks and months as the Growing Old Disgracefully program unfolds. Really enjoying working with you, Ian. Good to see you here. Hooters is a food. Yes, absolutely. Food. I've heard about this place. I've never been there. The waiting staff are all in shorts and revealing tops. Like something from the 1970s, Jim, or the 80s. An anachronism still enjoyed by some people, it would appear. And yes, I'm sure you're saying allegedly. Carl, I think in pictures. Don't do that to me. How will I be able to? I don't know which one we're talking about now. Just wait till tomorrow, Matty. Always remember, Portuguese society is a matriarchy. Oh, okay. So we don't need to actually look at moving to Portugal. That's the only rule you need to remember. The Portuguese society is a matriarchy. That's an interesting thread of discussion, I would say, because on some levels we know that's true, don't we? Like many societies in the world, it's a man's world, as James Brown once famously said. A male-dominated society in many ways. But underpinning that, behind that, to the side of it, in reality, it is a matriarchy. That's a whole show's discussion, isn't it? And something which I have to say I don't completely understand, but I do get a sense of. Okay, there's actually a chain of clubs in South Africa called Hooters, very dimly lit, lots of bikinis. One could call it a gentleman's club. Okay, we're not having a coach trip there, everybody. You'll be glad to know. Some of you will be disappointed, but I'm not gonna go there. In every sense, I'm not going to be going there because I don't want to wear a bikini to a dimly lit club. Don't count the calories. Another rule coming in. We obviously do not have to look at this today, do we? That's what I was going to look at. Moving to Portugal, eportugal.gov.pt. But the rules are just coming in anyway from Andrew. Thank you very much, Andrew. We might come back to that, at least for one rule, official one. Don't even know if Hank is joining in, but I hope he hears us just the same. Yeah, he'll feel it. If he's gone to bed already, he would be lying there, and the vibes coming from Portugal will just put him into a beautiful slumber and reverie. Bon dia from, don't need to shout, Victoria. Ouch! So sorry, I'm tardy to the party. There. It's fine. Nafash mal. Let's be Portuguese about it. 5 Portuguese water dogs: Teddy, Izzy, Nila, Marni, and Coco, all with us here at the farm in the Algarve. Just 2 of them, I think, on you there. Marilyn continues to improve, enjoying the show and the crew. Thanks, Nigel. Good to hear from you and Teddy, Izzy, Nila, Marni, and Coco. Marni, does that name come from the amazing Sean Connery movie Marni? Yes. It was a Hitchcock film, I think. He's known for his Bond work, but he did other films, and that was a Hitchcock, I think, with Sean Connery in the lead role. Is your dog called Marnie in connection with that? We only use the heat for a few minutes. We leave a window open so cats can be in their window box. It's not cold, just a tit-bit chilly. There's another image for you. Is that what you say in the Netherlands? Tit-bit chilly? I mean, it does conjure up a certain image that would, give evidence to the fact that it's a little bit cold. Or is that a typo? I don't know. That mystery will certainly be revealed. But by the way, that pumpkin won first place in North Carolina, but is only the 3rd largest grown in West Virginia. Is that all? The 3rd largest? The largest was... What goes on in West Virginia? Apart from the pumping of great amounts of fertilizers into massive squashes there. So if you're wondering what we're talking about, on this Good Morning Portugal show, where the 2 subjects we're going to talk about, we've barely scratched, some 45 minutes into the show. Yes, we start at 8:30. If you're wondering what we're talking about, it's this fella. Is it a fella or is it what are pumpkins? Are they male or female? What would you say? Is that a male or a female pumpkin? Just looking at it there. Keep it clean. So that's only the 3rd largest in West Virginia. But it's still a stunning attempt, I think you will agree. Okay, let's get back to your comments. And where were we? Yes, the 3rd largest. Rules, they drive on the right. Okay, that's definitely worth knowing. James, as a relative newbie, I haven't even noticed any commercialism. Yeah, I think it's a change from the old days, and change is difficult for people. No question about that, James. And it's open to discussion, as everything is. You know me, I don't like to gloss over things. Well, I do actually sometimes, but when it comes to where people have got beef, I'd rather live in a world where we can talk constructively than harboring grievances. My beautiful little judgments. I'm glad to hear that, James, and I'm glad to hear you're having a great time with Expats Portugal. So that is a great distinction, says Jim. Isn't it amazing? Love to you, Joy, a great guy who I worked with, a colleague over there in Delhi, and he came out with that at one of our meetings. I just thought, Yes, because I can be a bit of a Pollyanna. There have been times in my life when I've really struggled with going anywhere negative, and difficult. But I think when it's put like that, the difference between criticism and negativity, we're onto something, aren't we? It gives us room to... I think the big problem, no one likes being made wrong, do they? this is a great human motivator. You landmark graduates will know this. We avoid looking bad. We like to be right. And one of the great drivers in this world of human beings is people would rather be right than be happy, clearly. And conversations and situations get off to a very poor start when you make other people wrong. And people are so attached to that, aren't they? Being right and making others wrong. And, in some sense, they might be right. But what results do we get if we do that? It just doesn't work, does it? And when are we going to learn? Andrew, Portuguese society is a matriarchy. No wonder. It is kind and safe. There you go. More rules, please, Andy. Maybe that's just because I'm from the US, land of 24/7, 365 marketing and commercialism. You might be right there, James. You might be right. Morning, Joseph. How on earth are you? Good luck with your editing today, friend. It sounds like another video is coming from the Marsh Homestead. Fantastic. Matty's saying, James Holly, you can get premium membership for a fee each year. There is a membership for the YouTube channel that costs a few, and you can donate via Super Chat, but all are voluntarily, not mandatory. Exactly. And if I can address this then, while we're talking about it, I think people are bothered. Some people are bothered about how, it all used to be pretty much free. And now certain parts of it are and that's our business model. We are a freemium business model business, and it is a business. It's not a voluntary organization. The two of us have families to feed, and so I'm not going to be an apologist for that. We need to. I love doing this work, and I need to live and feed children. You understand? So I don't make any excuse or have any concern about being in this as a business. Okay, and I think we're honouring the fact that people can and should have access to free information. That is what the forum's all about. The 9,000 people, you have access to each other. You can ask questions. There is no charge for joining that at the basic level. I think that's an amazing free gift, if you like. And, obviously all of this forum infrastructure costs money to upkeep. It's, and I think I agree as well on one level as well with all the utopians who think none of it should cost anything. Of course, we can all agree with that, can't we? That it should all be free, and we should live in a world where everything's free. That would be an interesting experiment, and in many ways right. But we don't live in that world, and we got to eat, etc. And I know I'm sort of teaching people to suck eggs or just saying the obvious here, but we are honouring a massive amount of free information and free communication on Expats Portugal, which I think is true to its original aims. And you can upgrade, and we give extra value for those upgrades, and we help people in a more focused way with our new Premium Plus plan. Now, some people are seeing that as like, oh, it's going all commercial. Well, I think it's growing and expanding. It's not moving from one thing to another. It's becoming bigger, and it's encompassing those original values and giving something extra as well, which people can pay for in recognition of the value they're receiving. That's how business and the commercial world tends to work. Okay, so that's my first response to that, and it will be an ongoing conversation. And thank you, Matty, for popping that in there, of course. And also what I would add as well is the free offer. There is arguably more free information available through Expats Portugal than there ever has been. And I am by no means a breadhead commercial guy. Anyone who knows me will know that. And I think I probably spend, and this is not a boast, but I just want to sort of put the record straight. I still think I share more free information about moving to Portugal on a daily basis than most people on the planet. And I'm glad to do so. I'm not complaining about that. I'm just a bit sore about the accusation that, the over commercialism and that criticism or negativity, or where it is on that spectrum. Okay, so we still offer a heaven of a lot of free material and advice and information. Basically, it's not advice, it's information and signposting, and we want people to enjoy moving to and living in Portugal, and so much of that is still available free, and never has there been more free information on here on Expats Portugal, on our website and in our forum, as well as everywhere else. So I don't think anyone need to have their hooter put out of joint by that. And now you know exactly what that means. Imagine that, a hooter being put out of joint. Where was I in the comments? Expats Portugal has a stratified audience, those intending to move to Portugal. This is very interesting, actually. This is not what I was going to talk about this morning, and we will talk about soap, and we probably won't talk about moving to Portugal, the rules, thanks to Andy. So we've got a stratified audience, those intending to move to Portugal, those just moved, and those that have been here for a while. They have different needs, and charging for some services would be significantly cheaper than going elsewhere. Well, thanks, Mark. I'm glad you think so. I'm very open to that feedback, whether it be critical or, or positive or negative in that sense. But if it's only negative, there's my beef. I need to know what the solutions are as well, folks. Healthy move, Portugal, obrigado, already done 2 days ago. What was that? Joining the forum? Was that club that no one speaks of not run in a soap factory? I can't possibly answer that, obviously. Yes, Carl. Okay, there we go. I thought you were on like sort of first name terms in contact with the Irish Minister of Home Affairs. But yes, that's Kathy. I think of something when I think of something, I run it past the minister, signing it off or bidding it. Yes, it's a good policy. Thankfully, we recycle a lot in Belfast. That's most of my ideas go in a bin. Deagle. Yes, very good. Did the wine club in person the other night? How was that? Was it like a social? Tell us more, Victoria. Is there a wine club in the Algarve we can point people towards? Sounds like a lot of Germans have done good stuff in Portugal in the past. We'll try to keep up that tradition starting in January. Yes, with those two German fellows who started the soap company. See ya, Ian. Yes, that's true. Another rule, Speedos are illegal unless you're over 70. Well, there's something to look forward to, right? Age never comes alone is the expression, isn't it? And with those little creaks and aches and pains that some suffer from, although we're doing our best to inure ourselves against that in the growing old disgracefully. But look at that. You can look forward to being able to wear legally Speedos in Portugal after the age of 70. Do you have to have a psychological test and an examination as well, Andy? I hope so. There was a Hooters in Amsterdam. Only requirement for waitresses was cup size, I believe. And there we go. That's not a matriarchy, is it? That's the world. That's the male-dominated world at work there, in all its sort of puerile and basic glory there. Colin, if anyone asked to provide proof of Portugal tax residency, I've done a world first for me. I set up a thread on the forum telling how to get proof. There you go. Free. Is that some of the free information we were talking about, Colin? Joseph, thank you, Pete. I'm off to England in the next couple of days. Well, when I get back, fancy a chilly morning fish. Now it's colder. Maybe we bring a pan along with us. Oh, my word. Okay, so spark up a fire and cook the fish for breakfast. Oh, come on, guys. You've got to open that up. Big burkini. For you, Carl, no bikini. Charming. You won't be saying that in 6 months. You'll be saying, come on, get that bikini on, Carl. I got to see that rippling bod. Bonus track coming in. Bonus track of the day. Good Morning Portugal. This track is apt for Good Morning Portugal. Dreaming. Yes, by Greg Henderson. Carl, please tell me that you know this track. It was a banger. Yeah, I know Dreaming by Greg Henderson. We'll stick that on the playlist. Thanks. Another rule coming in. This is great. We don't need the government website. All we need is Andy Gilchrist. Speed signs are more like suggestions than actual limits. That is not actually true. They are legally enforceable. He's making a joke, everybody. Please don't say that if you get stopped. Andy Gilchrist said, maybe it's an idea to send Carl 10 to 20 second audio clips from the track of the day so he can play the. That's a good way to get me banned off YouTube, by the way. I'd love that. I really would. I'd love to be able to play more music, but if it's copyright stuff, and it's right that the artists get paid. However, most of the artists whose music I like, I suspect a lot of the royalties go to their record companies or their estate these days, such as the age of the tracks I listen to from that jazz funk canon that Capricorn 12 refers to. Modern day Hooters, they just have their nose sticking out from their mask. I was very disappointed. Mr. Wells, really? Rules. Speed signs are more like suggestions than actual limits. That one is true so far, but would change with the new speed radars. So that's a change. Tell us more, Antonio F. Sounds though it should be a tidbit rather than a titbit. I can say that live on air because that's what somebody wrote. Marni, Ma is this. Oh, well, there you go. Ma, start of Marin's name, and Nee, start of my name, Nigel. So, Marnie and it's also our kennel name. And if you had a bed and breakfast, you could call it that as well, couldn't you? Fantastic. American thinking. If more is good, bigger is better. Always more. And is that what you've somewhat escaping from coming to Portugal? I wonder. Hola, bon dia. Sorry to join you all late. Been working and lost track of. Hank, we played your wine video. People loved it. Tell Hank how much you loved his video, everybody. Those who were here from the early days. Remember your crowdfunding days coffee. That was no go, but you make the program. You had to seek other options. Thing is, buddy, you try to give them what they want. I really do, don't I, Gary? I do my best here. Yeah, it's work in progress, and it's always open to conversation. Sounds fabulous, mate. Count me in. Yes, that's the early morning chilly fishing trip. It might be a bit cold, lads. Should be known that I don't own a scale. Had a fantastic prato de dia yesterday, a feijoada completa, and that I am finishing for breakfast now. After that's it. Para levar, faz favor. Take what you don't eat from the restaurant. Yeah, if you say that, if you are in a restaurant in Portugal, talking of James's comment, look, James, always more. Now, you can apply that to Portuguese portions, I would say. And when you go to a restaurant and you can't eat it all, as it looks like Victoria wasn't able to do yesterday, you can just say, para levar, faz favor, can I take the other half of my marisco, arroz de marisco, or whatever? Can I take the other half of that away with me and I'll have it tomorrow? And that's what she's doing. She's got a prato de dia, the feijoada completa, finishing it for breakfast. And after my walk run reward, she's already started. And actually, Victoria, while we're about it, and as a comrade on the Growing Old Disgracefully plan and program, would love to see some of your fantastic videos that you make on Instagram, because Ian and I haven't thought about that yet, being on Instagram. And we're thinking, what do 50 plus people who are interested in fitness, what is their favorite platform? It's probably Facebook, isn't it? And probably not Instagram. But your Insta videos of some training videos will be fantastic. Hank, hope we can crack open a bottle of wine on my back porch in Pomba. So he's repeating the comment there. Or have we gone already back to the start of the show? Are we having a groundhog show today? That's called ego, the root of all conflict, the thing that wants to be right rather than happy, right? I miss you, peeps. He's got it bad, hasn't he, Hank? What can we do for Hank and his soldad this morning? Shot a video yesterday, says Victoria. Any good free video editing software for Mac y'all can recommend? I use WeVideo, just one E. If you look for WeVideo with two E's, you're probably going to, I don't know, get yourself banned by your ISP or something. But WE Video, I think the basic is free, and I think it's probably compatible with your Mac there. Yep, it's a business, and if there was ever a business worth supporting, it's this one. Thank you, I appreciate that, Hank. Really do. It's useful to get your feedback. It really is. Victoria Benson, iMovie is built into the Mac OS. That's what I use, says Thunder. iMovie for video editing on the Mac. It's free. So there you go. Thanks, Thunder. We'll be playing around with some this week. Nuno Mendes, a business that works like an ecosystem of people with common interests. In the end, somehow all add value to each other. That's a lovely way of looking at it, Nuno. Thank you for that. Matty saying to Victoria, I use DaVinci Resolve. Started with a free version, now using Studio, the paid version. It does have a learning curve to get used to. Okay. I'm sure you're going to be fine with iMovie, aren't you, over there on the Mac? But thanks for that, Matty. Joining as a premium member, easiest euros spent in this process. We should all support the community as we're able. Massive amount of information is an understatement. So cheers, Jeff. Thank you. I seriously, I wasn't meant to be a pity party. It was meant to be, having the conversation out loud. Don't listen to all the noise, Carl. You're doing great. Oh, cheers, Jackie. I'm a caveman. Am I a caveman? Windows Movie Maker. What are you using that on? Your ZX Spectrum, Hank Stelica. But actually, it's interesting, isn't it? Because some of us are attached to old bits of software. We know how to use them back to front, inside out. So why not? Why not? Until, Windows say, all of these people still using Movie Maker. We'll have to come up with, the Movie Maker 21 and make them buy it or add something onto that. Which is an interesting parallel, isn't it, to the conversation we're having about freemium models there and what happens to consumers. The new radars will be measuring average speed. Oh, that sounds like, well, I can see why it's needed, but It does sound like not a great step for Portugal, but maybe it is. Maybe, I mean, road safety is hugely important, but why people can't sort of educate themselves rather than to have all these bumps and traps and stuff. But I guess if that's what is needed, then that's the way the route will have to go. I'm old school too. In my house, I always have the last word in any conversation, says Joao F. And the last word is, yes, dear, immediately, dear, as you wish, darling. So we all know who's in charge. That's brilliant, Joao. Well done. You heard it, Carl. Cheers, Hag. Agreed, says Dominique. Thunderduck. The forum and GMP operate on the value for value system. If you get value from the information, then you should return the goodwill. Cheers, Thunder. Thanks for that as well. Colin Ross Jones. Most free advice is not worth having. Expats Portugal is different. As for charging, as long as the customer gets value for money, then everyone is happy. Well, that's good to know. Cheers, Colin. Sounds like what the Dutch are using more and more. Traject control, measuring speeds of a stretch, not a spot on the road. That is a good idea, isn't it? And, you know, while we're on the matter of speed, Via Verde, when you go through a toll road and you're on a motorway, and what's the limit on there? 120, is it? Now, clearly, some people do those at 140, 160, maybe 200 occasionally if they've got a supercar, because they can on the Via Verde. And it's there from gantry to gantry. It could be seen, couldn't it? What and so why has that not happened? That people are not tracked for their speed. If road safety is truly an issue, why aren't people? I'm not saying this should happen. I'm just interested why that hasn't happened, because it's clear what speed someone has been traveling at as they go from one part of the Via Verde to the next. And you would think, wouldn't you, that would be an instant fine. What is it? Is it some sort of data protection thing, or is it like, oh, we can't fine people as well as charging them for using the road? I wonder why that is. Da Vinci Resolve free version, incredible, and really kicks it up a few notches for studio, but only really need it for my line of work. So there you go. Lots of excellent info coming in for Victoria there, who wants to do a bit of video editing. Thanks, everybody. Boo! Average speed will do it. We already have them in the UK. Natalie Gray, the people who complain about over-commercialisation are the same ones who complain constantly about city councils and mayors who are volunteers, and also the type who never volunteer themselves. Yeah, that may or may not be true, to be fair, Natalie, but I get the point you're making. Colin Ross Jones, I agree. The community takes money to support, and it's worth every dollar. Okay, good to get this feedback this morning. Everybody has to live and eat and love your show and your banter. I love it. So can I buy a mug, please? Yes, you can. Absolutely. In the merchandise shop, in the merchandise section. I think Astrid's adding some coffee cups as well, so we can have the little cafe espresso cups in there as well. That's the must-have item with Good Morning Portugal on it. All I can say in support of this show is a big yes from James. Cheers, mate. Appreciate it. Francis, I bought the studio version. Okay, so there's more chat there, Victoria, for you to pick up on about video editing. Carl's job reminds me of mine in some sense, to be honest. We both get paid to talk about what we love. It's a dream. So true, Hank. So true. I became a member due to the value received. If we want this to keep going, we chip in. Thank you, Sarah, for saying that. Joseph Marsh, good travels. I'll see you next year in person. By the way, has your friend's farm been sold yet? And stand by for the answer to that in a forthcoming comment. Yup, and those are good people overall. We may not all agree on everything, but I believe we can all come together on a shared love of Portugal. Absolutely right. Yeah. And we do have to watch out for this polarization thing, you know, the wanting to be right instead of happy. And it gets to all of us, doesn't it, at times? We've all got our programming that wants us to do that. But hopefully the civility you talk about, Hank, causes people to be a bit more self-observant, self-conscious, and think, I am being an a-hole. I'll stop. Isn't that one of the greatest gifts we can give ourselves? You know, it's just catch ourselves being stupid, or just being on one, or you know, or just think, I'm just trying to be right here. I'm just trying to be. I've lost my joy in trying to be right. Something's gone wrong, and we can rewind, can't we? And we can do something different. I much prefer the Expats Portugal model than the YouTube super chat function, says Michelle. Yep. Cheers, Michelle. I mean, that's not to say I don't enjoy a super chat when I see it coming through, but I don't push it. Too much is always better than not enough, as the who famously said that? The Marquis de Sade? I don't know. Yes to an influence to finding a saner, more embracing location. Thank you very much. And Jeff loved your video, by the way, Hank. And Jeff Jackson, thanks. I talk a little slow if you notice, but last night I was saying how homesick I got. I never felt homesick. And then I saw that bottle. That's amazing. He's living in his country of origin and he's homesick for Portugal. Incredible. Saudade. There it is, right there. The definition of saudade in a video. You saw it earlier on. Coffee must be taken seated. What? So when I've seen people, this is news to me, Andy. When I've seen people go into a cafe in like a pasteleria or a padaria in Lisbon, and they've stood at the counter, you know, on those lovely old glass counters that are scratched with age, the patina of many decades of coffee. Imagine how many thousands, millions of coffees have gone over the counters of Portuguese pastelerias. But you're meant to sit down. Is that the thing in Portugal? Tell me more. And I had to toast you great people. Yeah, I appreciate that actually, Hank. And you really seem to be enjoying that red wine, I have to say. Thunder and James, how do you get the icon next to your name on YouTube? Is that the subscription? Jeff, James was helped through this. He could now help you do that. How did you do that? Another rule, lunch is a 2-hour period. Yes. So important to remember that. Don't be hassling or rushing people, especially for bank workers and financiers. Good morning, all. A question regarding living costs. Midlife adventures, not midlife crisis. Is there an equivalent to council tax in Portugal? And is it expensive compared to the UK? I've not heard any real estate videos mention this. Okay. Can you please, folks, in the comments, help midlife crisis? Midlife adventures, sorry. Too many midlives. Yes, there is an equivalent to council tax. It's paid by the homeowner, unlike the UK where you're talking about and where I'm used to. It doesn't have to be paid by tenants. It's paid by the homeowner, which I think is a good arrangement. And it is. I hear, not having owned a home myself in Portugal, that it is pretty competitive and not eye-watering. So maybe somebody would share that if they're happy to, what they get charged a year as a homeowner, and tell us what the actual name is. Okay, it's something like IGT, isn't it? Ethical business is a tough gig. You guys balance it well. Oh, cheers, Michelle. Thank you for that. Much appreciated. Thank you. So I opened up a little bit, didn't I, about that this morning, and I'm really liking what I'm hearing. Hank from Jeff. I'm a tiny bit jealous. Our Trader Joe's aren't allowed to sell wine in stores. What? What sort of state is that? Carl, transparency is always a good thing. Yeah, I like to think so. It gets a little more, it's harder work, isn't it? But in the end, I think it's worth it. Jeff, I almost missed it. There are only two labels, and they were stuffed in between bottles after bottles of Italian and Spanish wine. I hope, Hank, that you pushed the Italian and Spanish to one side and gave, well, presumably you didn't leave any behind, actually, saying that. But if you were to leave some on the shelves for anybody else, can you pull them towards the front as a little bit of an advert for Portugal with that Portuguese there? Thanks for the video editing suggestions, says Victoria. Come on, guys, let's get to the end of these comments. And let's talk about soap. How do I sign up? I think you're chatting to each other here. So I'm going to leave those for the rest of the show where I see an @ okay, which is probably why you're doing that for me. And I will just concentrate on questions and talking about soap. So ViaVed can't be used for speed control. It's unconstitutional. Yay! Excellent. Ex-multimedia developer here. No worries on software complexity. Well done, Victoria. Looking forward to those vids. Francis, I'm happy that Expats Portugal can make a living out of this. If it's just for passion, it will slowly wane. And when we move to Portugal and we are not alone because of this community, it'll be worth way more. Yes. It is an investment of all sorts of things, of people's time, energy, heartache from their previous experiences. Yeah, you know, I goodness only knows what Expats Portugal will look like in 5 and 10 years' time. Let us know. I'm inviting more comments. I shouldn't be doing that. Maybe we'll do that tomorrow. Expats Portugal in 5. What would you like to see in 5 years' time? 10 years' time. Tune in tomorrow. Me and Gary can talk about that tomorrow. That'd be great. I'm so delighted that you're going to be here tomorrow. Might be cooking with Owen. Might just be the Garvo. Let's wait and see. Carl, because only ViaVed users would be penalised. Oh, I see. So it's IMI. Is it comparative to UK annual council tax costs? We're going to find out some more, I think. We found the forum helpful, say Fiona and Simon. And I think maybe you, like some other people, use the forum free and then think, this is great. You know, what can I do to put something into this organization? Then you sign up at 47 euros, which used to be 20 actually, but it's 47 now. And you get a load of not not only do you kind of retroactively show your love and appreciation for the value, you get perks and benefits, you get discounts when you use the services of a lot of the people that we work with. So there you go. James, Holly, Thunder, all working on trying to get Jeff's YouTube picture up online. Keep going, guys. You can do it. Too much is always better than enough. That would be J.R. Bob Dobbs, Church of the Subgenius. Too much is always better than not enough. Is that real? Is that a real person there, Thunder? Another rule coming in. Portugal is a civilized country, so you'll need to be civilized. Very good. Well said. And Antonio F., when it comes to IMI, the cost goes between 0.3% and 0.45% of the estate value in urban areas. So thank you for that, Antonio F. Good stuff to be sharing. Experience more, consume less, share often. Is that the ethic for a modern world, I wonder? Carl, there were no chairs available, so the counter had to do. So that's why some stand up. Okay, so referring back to that rule, coffee should be consumed sitting down in Portugal. I fail to understand why some people keep complaining about everything. For those who don't like this show, you can always choose not to take part in it. After all, Good Morning Portugal is Carl's effort, not theirs. Thank you for your defensiveness. I do appreciate it. And of course, that's true, isn't it? If you don't like something, you don't have to partake in it. But I don't tend to give people the old Zé Povinho. I don't give them the Iberian. What's it called? The Iberian slap. Because that would be rude. And I reserve that. And here it is. This is not for people who are complaining. I want to just show you this so you know what on earth I'm talking about. And where's he gone? Oh, here he is. Zé Povinho. I don't tend to give one of those to the people who make complaints. I'm interested at first in what people are complaining about, in constructive criticism. You're right, Joao F. If people don't like something, it is probably best to scroll on, isn't it? And focus on the things you do love and like in life. I mean, that's just good for your health, basically, isn't it? So, but I don't just give him the straight up Zé Povinho treatment. I am interested. And it's an ongoing conversation. As I said before, and I'll say it again, best damn adjective of Portugal is civilized. As an American, it's stunning. And so foreign, I love it, in capitals there. Okay, let's get to the soap. Love the way you run the show, Carl. There's only one sort of people who never do anything bad. Those who never do anything at all. That's another great quote. We got some crackers today, haven't we? We got some really good wisdom floating around the show. I pay in a year what I paid in a month back in the UK. So there you go, midlife. Other midlife. In other words, 1/12 of the council tax. That sounds all right, doesn't it? Does that apply to pollution and consuming? Is that what? Share more? I wonder. Haven't heard about Subgenius in so long. An American phenomenon. I'm going to have to look that up. Premium membership is such good value. How many other clubs can you be a member of for so little with such a great return? Fair enough. Thank you very much, Ian. Andrew, awesome rule list. Can we have those together in the forum, maybe, Andy? That would be really cool if you could do that. All signed up premium members moving forward and making plans are Fiona and Simon. Fantastic. The Church of the Subgenius is a parody religion that satirizes better known belief systems. It teaches a complex philosophy that focuses on J.R. Bob Dobbs, purportedly a salesman from the 1950s. Fantastic. Okay, we got to talk about soap. I've caught up with you all. Ha! You didn't manage to outrun me this morning. I mean, what is it when a show host has to run after his audience with their comments and finally catch up with them? Again, not a complaint, but I feel like I've had a workout this morning. In 5 years' time, I'd like to see Good Morning Portugal correspondents around the country live on air. Yes, Carl, you could be the Sandy Gall. Who remembers Sandy Gall in the studio? Frank and Victoria, the Algarvian correspondents, and Doc, of course. I think that's a great idea. I mean, we could have expats telly, couldn't we? It might have to be Iberian. I don't know, but there's something to talk about tomorrow, eh, Gary? Great idea, Capricorn. Thank you. Not doing anything is bad too, as your body will break down by not being used. There you go. Health guy speaks, but you are not talking about that. And just finally, for the moment, then, I used to be one to pursue slack, but now I hope to be touched by his noodly appendage. What? I wish I hadn't read that now. Okay, soap. We're not, very briefly, just a very quick nugget from eportugal.gov.pt. Or say Portugal, the Services Públicos. And this is worth looking at. I don't know why we haven't before. And on the screen for you now is one rule that you should know. Okay, which comes as a bit of a shock to some people who don't have this rule in their country. I think it's probably you Americans are used to this, not in the UK, not yet anyway. In Portugal, all citizens of over 16 years of age, whether national or foreign, are required by law to carry a valid document identifying them to the authorities. This document may be an identity card, passport, residence certificate, or residence card. So there you go. You should do that. And you've got a lot of things to choose from after all, haven't you? Interestingly, the residence card, residence certificate, as yet doesn't necessarily have a photo on it, does it? So it doesn't mention anything about photo ID there, but perhaps with the QR thing, the authorities can read the QRs, and that maybe that's what's coming. That's the technology that's coming this way with that, so that it can all be read. I'll leave that there for the time being, and we will return to eportugal.gov.pt, and I do recommend that as a very good resource, worth a look. If you're not spending all day on the forum and Expats Portugal gleaning all the information there, here's another one for you. So I'll put that in the comments now. And we had a lovely interaction talking about the authorities. And I have to, I've come back into the house before now to get my wallet, which has my driving license in, or take my passport out. I am in the habit of doing that, which I was never in my country of origin. Yes, it says Antonio F. If you don't carry an ID, you can be transported to the police station for an ID check. Wow, with the gloves on? I wonder. Carl, my EP premium membership is great value. Already paid for itself within months with discounts from the business director. Loving the feedback. Thank you so much. Noodly appendages is appropriate for Carl and Garvo. Exactly, Donna. Thank you for piping up with that. Don't forget, Garvo, bring your noodly appendage tomorrow. But we're going to be very grown up and professional tomorrow, right, Gary? Do you think? You have to be able to identify yourself if you're 16 or older. So enjoy it, kids. I can't imagine anyone under 16 watching this. And if you are, you shouldn't be. Okay, unless you've got your parents' permission. I want to see a note from your parents. Typically, yeah, we're supposed to carry ID in the US too. That's the same in all Europe, apparently. Same in Germany and the Netherlands. And the former European colony known as the United Kingdom, where you don't have to still, but I'm sure it's coming. No complaining about SEF appointments, bank accounts, broadband providers. That's 80%. Yeah, stop it, everyone. In 5 years, I hope to be a Portuguese citizen. I'll be with that coveted passport. And also, some of the shows will be in Portuguese, won't they? And you'll be able to understand them. How about that? Not disagree. What's that? Not doing anything. Oh yeah, we've done that. And and we've talked about pursuing Slack. And why have I put that on the screen again? Stop it, Hank. Okay, can you carry copies, or does it have to be the original? That's interesting. I think copies are probably okay. Better than nothing, right? Become a premium member to show your support so that our community can be self-maintaining, and Carl becomes our morning social lubricant with his noodly appendage. It's getting worse now. It's time to go, isn't it? 3 minutes for soap, right? Let's do that. Let's go to the. I'm going to do this again. Maybe we'll soap up tomorrow, eh, Gary? Like Matty said, with you and me on the show, perhaps you shouldn't be picking up the soap if you drop it. I don't know. I'll let others be the judge of that. And we will go now to number one since 1894 in the soap market. Confianza says that in the small print. That's why I'm sharing this with you this morning, because I just think it's so beautiful. Dr. Bayard's fantastic packaging. Confianza, fantastic packaging, a traditional Portuguese brand. About Confianza, let me share this with you now. And while somebody was mentioning premium membership, I'm going to put that banner up there as well. There's the link for doing it, expatsportugal.com/upgrade. Very good. Now, about Confianza, let's have a look at this, because it is so charming. And you will see here, their mission is to streamline commercial action. Knowledge development with a focus. I love missions and visions, right? So this is a soap company. Think about what your mission, vision, and value is in relation to this soap company. Knowledge development with a focus on continuous improvement and quality of our products and services. That sounds a bit German, doesn't it? German quality and engineering there on the soap production line. Management rigor and dynamism. There you go again. Fulfillment of all commitments. Integrity then. Very good. And their vision. I don't know. Their 3-word vision, moving soaps forward. I mean, I don't know. It makes you think, that's for sure. But I don't know. When we go on the Confianza tour, are we going to help them with that vision? Because I think that could be better moving soaps forward. Values are sustainability. Oh, sorry, not sustainability, suitability of soap. I guess it's just for the soap dodgers, isn't it? Any suitability of soap is for people the unwashed, and maybe they've had an upsurge in the pandemic times with more hand washing. Might have been good for this company. Non-conformity, interesting, and trust. Okay. So this prestigious and nationally renowned Portuguese brand, loyal to its origins and respectful of traditional methods, has an exceptionally rigorous quality criteria in its manufacturing process. With more than 125 years of history, Confianza adapted to the present-day needs of its customers, who value the best that history and tradition have to offer. Following traditional and essentially manual methods, so they were making soap in blocks, Saboaria y Perfumaria Confianza products are made using a selection of high-quality raw materials, as you would hope. It's through the textures, brands, memories, and fragrances that preserve the essence of the Portuguese soul in all of our products. And I tell you, when you sniff this, right, when you get I'm going to use the word again, when you put your hooter in the packaging, that's the sort of comment that tomorrow, if Gary or I say that to each other, just put your hooter in the packaging, it's going to cause us to break down into fits of giggles. So I'm looking forward to seeing you again tomorrow, Gary. Could do with a laugh. It's been a while. That smells like the house of a relative who you don't visit very often. That's what I'm going to say about that. And I think you'll know what I mean by that. And I like it that my house smells like that now, thanks to Confianza. And I might become that relative that other people come to and think, the house always had a very peculiar smell. I think people probably say that anyway about our house. Confianza remains true to itself, not forgetting its origins, but with a key eye on the future. That could be for us all, couldn't it? Stay true to yourself and don't forget your origins and keep a keen eye on the future. And let's go into the history very briefly before we look at the future. It was on October the 12th, 1894, that Silva Almeida and Santos Pereira founded in Braga the Saboaria y Perfumaria Confianza, the production line that was initially intended exclusively for the manufacture of Offenbach soap, whose unmatched quality offers the company an enviable reputation, later extended to the production of soap meant for skincare and fine perfumery. So, doesn't say anything about the German takeover there, does it? In order to respond to the new and luxurious lifestyles, they're not German, are they? With names like Silva and Santos. So maybe we need to look further into the history of Confianza here. But in order to respond to the new and luxurious lifestyles of the second half of the 20th century, as well as the incessant requests of its consumers, the consumers with all their incessant requests, Confianza begins to develop new cosmetics. So let's take a look at those now. The soap brand, you'll be pleased to know, has the ISO 9000. Isn't that reassuring? When you're in the shower and you know that in your hands, you are soaping up with ISO 9001 approved soap. And they've also got the PME Leader 20 certification. I just feel more and more confident every time I go in the shower. 10 million laundry soap bars a year. And those are the old ones that people, when they take their washing down the street and wash their laundry down in those laundry areas in villages that you still see in Portugal. This is what the soap came from originally, laundry soap, right? 10 million bars of that still sold every year and 1 million toilet soaps every year. I think they've got to do something about that phrase. Toilet soap is not doing it any justice, is it? So let's look at the future now. Let's see what products they're going into for the future. I like this soul idea, but like I said before, they've got to be careful. They've got to maintain the connection with the past, haven't they? The classic branding. But looks like they're doing it. Here are some gentlemen's products here. In the O Melhor, O Me Banho, my bath soap, and my Alfazema de Portugal. So let's just very briefly have a look at these. The Soul line is a product line that invokes the soul of trust, Confianza, in a premium range. In these, you'll find that all the products are more carefully elaborated and present different purposes, such as the O Meu Banho, my bath soap, O Melhor, the best, and Alfazema de Portugal, the lavender from Portugal. So the bath one, is one of Confiance's most traditional soaps and is recommended for daily use, both in the bath and as a simple hand wash. And look at that branding. Isn't that fantastic? All of that is very beautiful. I think we should have framed prints of these. I love them. The soap's moisturizing properties and vintage imprint give it the premium status required for this distinct product line. And it smells like grandma's house or that auntie that you used to visit from time to time. Au milieu is named the best, not by chance, featuring one of the most complete and precisely tailored hygiene bundles for a man. It's the best a man can get. Composed of a shaving kit, a fragrance kit, a shaving brush. Yes, I want one of these. And 2 exclusive face soaps for a cleaner and smoother shave. Now you don't need to buy foam in a can, do you? That's for parties and other applications. All a man needs to shave with, and probably a woman as well, if you do that sort of thing, is a good bar of soap and a shaving brush. And it lasts forever. Alfazema de Portugal, moving on, is an exclusive line that brings a feeling of comfort and exotic pleasure to your bathroom. What? I could do with some of that. Featuring its vintage soap in a singular and boxes of 3. Not the only thing in the bathroom in a packet of 3 then, by the sound of it. A liquid soap, a shower gel, an environmental vaporizer, and an aromatic candle. Yes, 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 and yes. I'm not going to go into the rest of these right now. We will return with confidence to Confianza. Wasn't that fantastic? Let's just see what you're saying about it. Another 30s. Look, I know I sound disappointed, but it's 10:05, folks, and we've got to go. Okay, what's going on here? Have I missed something? I feel like I've turned my back for a moment. And something unholy is occurring in the comments. Let's see. I quote a friend's saying from the past about the success. Rule 1, I am never wrong. Rule 2, if I see any other rule, see rule 1. Okay, thank you for that, Gary. Let's elaborate on that tomorrow. Originals should be carried, not copies. Okay, going back to the ID stuff. Copies used to be okay, but not anymore. Okay, so that clears that up for you, Stephen. Let's talk soap in these remaining minutes. I can't thank you enough. Constantly show when referring to Portugal. This means a lot to me. For the respect you constantly show when referring to Portugal. Yes, it's synonymous with Hank, isn't it? As we are still on summertime. What's happening there then? Oh, this is probably the man cave start, isn't it? 10 o'clock tomorrow night for the man cave, everybody. Visions for a soap company, a cleaner future. There you go. I wish America was 100% as good as Portugal. If it were, I might stay. I can't say enough about how wonderful the country is. Nobody's perfect, but damn, it does a lot right. Okay. Who would give a downvote for this show? Well, you know what? I think when you were dealing with big volumes of people, it's right that some people would be critical. Maybe not right, but it's understandable that they would. So it's okay. We will talk. We won't be offended or triggered. Thanks for this site, Carl. I'm glad to see my citizen card is still valid, even though it technically expired and now can do online. It makes a huge difference. I'll look into it. Really appreciate that. Not at all. I thought it might be useful, actually. There may be a heavy-duty discussion on the Man Cave this Friday. Oh, no. The state of the EU. Is that after there wasn't a Polexit? Now, lots of people were thinking, weren't they? Oh, yeah, Poland don't want to get out. All the grumbling, etc. That if you're of that persuasion, you hear... You're in your echo chamber, aren't you? But the polls, I think, surprised some people, it would appear. So the EU, state of the EU in the man cave. If you don't want to be triggered, don't go there. Carl, you didn't manage to outrun me. Community challenge accepted. Yes, I shouldn't have said that, should I? Yeah, I have videos, but nothing special. Only one video has 26,000 views. Others have very few views. What is this 26,000 viewed video? We've got to see. Is that you doing more yoga postures like the incredible one on your paddleboard? Love you, Carl. Keep up the good work. Cheers, mate. Love you too. Love soap. I've missed a big tranche of comments again, especially the artisanal kind. Love to support small producers. Buy Confianza. That's the answer. Hey, there you go. There's a catchphrase from the answer is Confianza. I take it Carl has got a share in. Not yet, Patrick. But I would gladly have a share in that soap company. No, it's just a love of Portuguese brands that's doing it for me. Okay, enough soft soap. Let's move on. I so much want to be in there. Where I wonder? Have gone back to soap bars for body. Yes, yeah, quite right too. It has got that sort of retro feel about it, hasn't it? Soaping up with a bar of soap rather than using a blooming plastic bottle. Isn't that a great thing? Join the FB group. That's Andy's advice for anyone interested in the man cave. So I'll bid you farewell. I'm flipping exhausted this morning. I thought it was going to be an easy one today. But the community have accepted the challenge to outrun me in the comments. But I think I just about got you. I think I just about got there. We'll see you this evening, of course, for the chat with Paul. Always fun to talk to Paul. Tonight, it is Paul Carrere's Guide to Investment and Trading for Expats. And we'll have a bit of a giggle with Paul, as well as some useful information and some tips. He comes out with a few to watch as well. It's not financial advice, but he's just, have a look at these, and they're worth thinking about. And the doc, even socialistic doc, opposed greatly to capitalism. He's a bit of a gambler, however, and he liked a few of Paul's picks. And had a bit of a flutter on some of them. So you may want to do the same and join us for that tonight. And of course, at 9 o'clock, the Expats Portugal Premium Plus, folks, the Q&A session. If you're one of those, see you there. And we'll be talking more about NIFs, bank accounts, and currency. So see you tonight for that. Have a great day. Just one more wafer-thin comment then. Here we go. A poll exit would result in poleaxed, says Mark, just opening up that seam there. And Gary saying, this is nice, Hank, it's twice as good when you return to Portugal. So there you are to look forward to. And James, can you please some of the people, you can please some of the people all the time and all of the people some of the time, but not all of the people all of the time. And that comes very difficult to a people pleaser, doesn't it? And consider it done, sir. He's managed to please everyone. And love to all from Andy and Cemetery Video. I've got to download a stable version of it, and we'll spin that tomorrow. Me and Gary will look at that on a Feel Good Friday with the Garvo tomorrow. Take care, folks. It's been fun hanging out with you this morning, and we'll do it all again tomorrow. Bye for now. Ciao, ciao. Te logo. Te breve. Te prossima.